The impact that the coaching and training has on agents' business is that they get into production faster, they make more money, they stay in the business longer, and ultimately part of KW's mindset is to teach us not only to be realtors, but to be business owners.
And the thing that I love about Keller Williams is our training comes from agents for agents. So the top producers in our office, the people who are very successful that you look at and you would want to learn from and want to model your business after, take time out of their day to come and train and provide that knowledge. They literally say, hey, this is what I have done to create success. Let me share it with you.
Here at Keller Williams, and we've been using this tagline for over a year now, where entrepreneurs thrive.
Yep.
Right? And it's just a brilliant tagline, and we as entrepreneurs so embody that. What separates Keller Williams from every other brand out there? I'm not saying we're better, but we're just different.
We're way different. We have a different philosophy to everything. And I often say Keller Williams is not about what you get, it's about who you become. It's very much a self empowerment type of company. Yeah. And some people mistake that for, we hear all the time, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, right? Which is code for you guys are different over there. We're the only national company or international company that will openly say the brand doesn't matter. Real estate's a locally driven business by the agent and their sphere of influence. And so our job, if you believe that and agree with that, it fundamentally changes the value of the brand. Mm-hmm. So our job is to create the supportive and training environment and the technology that allows our agents to be the best possible fiduciary they can be for their consumers.
I sit back and reflect on my time with Keller Williams Realty Centers. I can see how much I've already continued to grow, and the people around me and the people that I've met here and the journey and trajectory that they're on, that I'm building a life that I'd never imagined for myself.
Over the last 10 years of being in real estate, I can honestly say that these last 2 years have put me in a place where I can create my life for myself and my family that I didn't even know was possible.
Jason Abrams here. Everyone knows that I love to talk. It's a gift, but I also love to listen. We're having conversations with the best and the busiest. The biggest personalities making the biggest impact. The craziest and the coolest. It's about passion, strategy, and above all, it's about real, tangible success. This is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast, available anywhere you get your podcast.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! Yeah, I was building on a lecture. Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme. The true style trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking one chance at best, yes. Painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is a teacher under pressure, now we blessed. See, I was so close with the goal. There's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! Yeah, it's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, make this look easy. On the highway and I'm feeling breezy. Going beast mode, yeah, another species. I'm the top one cause they cannot beat me. Foot on the gas in another gear. Can't slow me down, this is our year. I'ma say it loud, I'ma say it clear. We run the world, get a whole sphere. Now wait. Let's turn this up. Okay, let's work it out. Okay, let's shake and move. Okay, do what it do. I'm feeling great. Now let's turn on the cool. Get busy. And move.
My friends, how's everyone doing? We're going to bring Jen on screen. Jen, how you doing?
Hey, Gary, I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent. I see we have at least Dina in the chat. Dina, how you doing, my friend? Good to see everybody here. And it's always exciting to host our team meetings. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. And it could be in the car after door knocking, Vincent. We got you. Jen, what's going on in your world?
Oh, Mike, it's busy right now. There's lots going on. We've had a bunch of big trainings at the office. I was up in Owen Sound yesterday. We facilitated a big real estate training event. We had over 60 realtors in the room and 4 panels, top producers, rookies. Jess and the Hastings team organized the whole educational event for their whole Grey Bruce area, which was awesome. I got to facilitate, ask some fun questions, and take a drive up north, which is this time of year is pretty spectacular. I've been seeing people posting about the leaves and the colors online and got to drive through a lot of that yesterday. So it's been good, been busy.
Excellent. Okay. Little off script here, and we don't script these, but we do follow some sort of plan. But Jen, networking and being around 60 other like-minded realtors, individuals, business owners, tell us why that's so important.
Well, you know what is really cool about this event is that it was the first time something like this had ever happened in that area. So it was pretty impressive. That it's a smaller community, it's a lot of smaller towns. And so there's always been that sense of kind of everyone's info is their own and we don't collaborate and we don't work together. So this was the first time that we had agents, on the panels from Century 21, from Sutton, from EXP, from KW, and I'm sure others as well. And they all just showed up and got vulnerable and talked about their business and talked about, what we do here, right? What our challenges are, how we're working around them, what the top producers are doing, and just giving back to the real estate community. And the goal of it was to create collaboration to get a more educated industry so that all of the agents benefit from it and can, the biggest feedback we got, which I thought was awesome, was, that agents were just so glad to be able to put a face to a name. They talk to these people on the phone all the time. They negotiate deals with them and they've never met them. They've never met in person. They have no idea what they look like. And so yesterday there was a lot of that going on. Like, oh my God, you're so-and-so, you're this person, you're Alexa, or you're Katie. And, we had some agents that were previously with us that were there. We got to reconnect with them and got to meet some new agents. And it was just a great sense of collaboration, mainly. And then, the education, of course, is going to bring that extra level of value. So it was very cool as an outside person, the only outside person really in the room, to watch that unfold and for the first time and to see how open everyone was. And the comment I made was that you could tell that they were hungry for it because so many people showed up. Even though there was a little trepidation around it, they showed up and they gave it a chance and it turned out to be amazing. So I'm really excited and something we're planning to do every year going forward and hopefully collaborate with the other brokerages to make it bigger. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. One of the funnest times that I've done over the last several years is booking a coffee with a business partner, we'll call them, from another brokerage or another brand. And whether that's in the same area or not, you get to, you get to meet different people, see how they're doing their business and create stronger relationships. Now, this is great. This is great. Okay. We've got lots going on. We got a great guest speaker we got to get to as well. And lots of things going on today. Of course, we got our broker update from our broker team. We have a guest speaker, Peter Lount, is going to talk to us about the return on life, meaning, well, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to let him explain that when he comes on. But let me tell you, my friends, we love to plan for today, but we don't necessarily plan for tomorrow. And tomorrow can mean, in 2 years and 5 years and 25 years, and setting yourself up for success is incredibly important. He's going to talk to us about that. Jen and I, we did something. Do you remember the KWRC TV days, Jen?
Yes.
I sent a message to Jen the other day. Hey, what if we brought back a little segment called Quick Takes? And we're going to do that where we got some topics. In fact, we've got a few videos that we're going to watch together. They're 30, 45 seconds long and just some thought-provoking stuff that'll help you and your business for sure. And of course, Of course, we cannot do a team meeting with A, without our favorite mortgage broker, but B, of course, they call it the jumbo rate drop. We're going to talk to Nicole and, peel that onion in a way to see what that means to you and your clients. And of course, we've got Dylan talking to us from a coaching perspective on how to, always better our business. And sometimes that's bettering ourselves too, Jen. But I'm going to share my screen here. And we're going to talk about a couple of things here. Jen, why don't you kick us off with our mission moments?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so excited to share this because, we know our agents are out there in the community giving back and doing their thing and often quietly, right? We don't always know about it. And last month I said, if you're doing this sort of stuff, please let us know. We want to highlight it. We want to celebrate it. And one of our amazing teams, team admin, Sandy from the Melissa Taylor team, she reached out and she was like, hey, you know what, we've been doing this and we want to share and we want to know. And we'd love to take the opportunity to acknowledge the Melissa Taylor team for all that they do, because this is just surface. They do things like this all the time. They're constantly doing community events, sponsoring local charities, showing up and doing soup kitchens and just working with the community. And on October 2nd, they actually went to the Good Food Collective at the Georgina with the Georgina Food Pantry, and they were able to serve lunch. They were able to serve coffee, and they actually provided food and coffee and stuff for over 150 people within the community. They were there to support, to give back. And I know a big part of their brand and their drive is that they take care of their community. And this is an amazing example of them stepping up in leadership and just doing that. And just wanted to highlight it, acknowledge them, shout out, we're proud of you for continually doing this throughout the year. And yeah, congrats on being our cultural ambassadors.
That's great stuff, Melissa and team. And as Jen said, we love to hear these stories because there's a lot of people doing things sometimes behind the scenes. And behind the scenes, if that's where you want to stay, that's okay. But sometimes it's great to celebrate these accomplishments. And just remember, your act of kindness can encourage and will encourage many, many others to perhaps do the same thing or to help out in an area where they see a need. So this is the KWRC culture, and we're excited that you are in, we'll call it the field, extending that culture to your communities. And this is great, Jen. Absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on. Well, we got to welcome a few KWRC new members, Jen. Go ahead.
We do. We have Fatima and Brittany who joined us over the last 30 days. So welcome to the brokerage.
Excellent. Make sure you reach out into the comments to say welcome. And if you've seen these posts online, jump in there and give them a warm welcome and reach out to them. Let them know that you're around and you're able to strategize and to help and invite them to the next training session so you can meet them in person. This is always good stuff. Okay. Jen, I'm going to bring on Jonathan. Jonathan, it's important, my friends, that we stay in tune with what's going on from, we call it the legal side, but this is the side that takes care of us from, the legal standpoint, and also making sure your clients are best served to our abilities. Jonathan, take it away for us.
Thank you, Gary. I want to welcome everybody to our team meeting. With the culture of sharing and kindness and all that, I want to say that for almost a whole year, we've been accepting documents that were not necessarily compliant with TRESA. Although our TRESA has been implemented since December 1st, 2023, we've been sort of, accepting documents from you guys, even though it wasn't fully compliant. We call that the adjustment period. However, this year, starting December, so a year from when TRESA Phase 2 first started, that will no longer be the case. We, as part of compliance for your documentations, we will have to reject documents that are not compliant with TRESA. So I just want to say that point. And one of the most important parts of that is the Schedule A. there's a Schedule A that you need to have as part of listing agreements and as part of the buyer representation agreements, which includes the services in detail that you'll be providing to your client. If those services are not part of your Schedule A on the listing or on the BRA, they will be rejected from our compliance, which is an extension of the Office of the Broker of Record. And the person in charge of compliance is Gail Hurst. She is literally an extension of my being as a broker of record. She has tools and she's very knowledgeable on the things that are needed and the things that needs to be either accepted or rejected as part of compliance under TRESA. TRESA is not something that I've made up. It's not something that Gail has made up. However, TRESA is a legislation to the realtor brokerage people that are out there and to the greater community that we need to follow and abide by. Along with that, also FINTRAC. FINTRAC documentations have changed. The receipt of funds, the individual identification information, they've always also changed. So if you are not compliant with those, they will also need to be compliant. We will help you, but they will also be rejected. And if you don't know how to fill that up, please speak with your team leaders, Jen, myself, the Office of the Broker of Record, who are, Gail, and also Darren, who is our resident broker. All of these people can help you navigate through the documents. But if you just submit something and there's documents or there's content missing, we will have to reject that going forward as of December 1st. Having said that, as part of, not everybody still knows the members of the Office of the Broker of Record. So Gail Hurst is in charge of compliance, who is an extension of my office or the Broker of Record. So whatever she accepts or rejects is really coming from my training and my background. Darren Maltese is our resident broker. He's the one who picks up the phone most of the time on the broker hotline or can pick up the phone to answer questions alongside with me, alongside the broker hotline. And Darren has been personally been working with me in conjunction to learn the steps of the broker of record. So he's very well versed, and he will also be able to help you in not only in your transactions, but in your documentations as well. So just to recap all of that, I'm going to be having a seminar on the 6th, on Wednesday, November the 6th, to show those people who are in need or to refresh your mind on documentations, the practical sense of the practical scheduling of all these documents, the practical usage of all these documents within your practice in real estate. I'll be going over a seminar in that so that if you're not familiar or you just want a refresher, on Wednesday, November the 6th, 12 p.m., please show up to the Newmarket training office. Okay, better to be in person so that I can field some questions and also go over the documents with you. Secondly, there's been some communications and some talk with the new TREB rules that have changed, that are being implemented as we speak. All new rules, new TREB rules and policies have changed. You need to know those. You need to access those. First, I want you to go to treb.net or TorontoMLS.net to download it. Secondly, in the months to come or in the weeks to come, I'll be having a seminar to go over those pertinent rules that changed that's applicable to the MLS, as well as general rules that I feel that is important. But all the rules and policies within TREB, you need to be in knowledge of as a practicing realtor. For now, Gary, that's it from the Broker of Record and Office of the Broker of Record, and I'll hopefully see everybody on the 6th of November.
Excellent, my friend. Thank you so much for the work that you and your team does moving forward and everything like that. Okay, my friends, we're going to bring on a guest speaker. Before we do that, I want to just add something here. And last month we talked about this right here. Knocked. That's the button I'm looking for. If you're not on this, this is a platform that allows us to share some of those coming soon listings. That's all compliant, Jonathan, as we all know. And there's been some great training around this as well. Every morning I get an email from the Knocked platform, listing platform, with some of the new listings. Of course, there's assignments on it and things like that. And everyone in our brokerage has an account. If you don't have that account, she's going to hate me. Reach out to the front desk and to Stephanie. We'll make sure that you have that account. I got set up a few weeks ago. I've been looking at it. It's phenomenal. So make sure that you've got that at your fingertips, because, my friends, this is a great value proposition for your listing clients. Well, for any and your buyer clients, obviously. So make sure you are leveraging the tools that we have at our fingertips. Okay, my friends, we're going to move on to our guest speaker, and I'm going to invite Peter to come on screen with us. And Peter, it's a pleasure to have you with us. I'll share your screen in just a second here. As I said, we love to plan for today and the listings and everything that we're doing for today, but it's that tomorrow. And that tomorrow for some is many, many years away, but we don't know what life brings us. Also to the fact that, hey, financially speaking, we can do things today that will benefit us moving forward and your families. And I'm going to hand it over to Peter, because he's going to be sharing with us in a short snippet, if you will, 10 minutes or so, about what he's bringing to the KW office here in just a few weeks. Peter, let me share your screen, and over to you, my friend.
Okay, that's great. Great. I appreciate, Gary. You can hear me okay?
Excellent.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So listen, we did a presentation. Jen invited me in to do a presentation to a number of realtors back in September. We had some really good feedback from that. And so we're going to do a specific one just for PREC owners on November the 5th. So look forward to people coming out to that. I mean, what I saw in the preamble, the video startup, it really speaks to, in general, I say PREC, but at the end of the day, all you realtors are business owners, and you're gonna make your wealth in any number of ways. Obviously, you're gonna make it through selling real estate and in that area, but then also you may also own some real estate. So there's different areas where you're gonna see some success go there. So everybody's concentrating on, like Gary said, the future, but also let's look at now. How do we impact things now as well? See if my slide goes. So a little bit about myself. I've been a real estate investor since like 2001, house hacked. And I obviously live with my family. I invest in commercial real estate and have a couple of longer term hold pieces of real estate as well. But through my journey of understanding real estate is really where this came through, is understanding how life insurance can be such a great partner to it. It doesn't replace what you're doing in terms of building your wealth, but think about you building your wealth is about building that ceiling, building it higher, building that plan out higher. What we're doing is building a foundation. And I'll give you a couple examples. I just walk through at a very high level. He said that the presentation we did in September would be very similar, very interactive, ask questions, and hope to get you to clarity on it. So I'll give you a couple stories, just very short versions of them, but where life insurance had played a piece. And everybody thinks it's about, okay, well, I'm not going to reap the rewards of it, right? It's going to be there when I'm gone. But the first example is someone who he retired recently, had $50 million in real estate, totally paid up, no debts on him whatsoever. He got his family involved, tried to really get into the $100 million range. And doesn't matter whether it's, $5 million, $500,000, it's all relative, right? The point is, he went too far, had a few bad deals, and obviously the markets turned a bit on him, and he got squeezed and he lost it all. The one thing he had left over, this guy is in his late 70s, he had life insurance in place, and it wasn't just for when he's gone. It's actually something he can tap into now. So he had $4 million in cash value that's sitting there that he can use for retirement, and it's still growing, and there's still plenty left over for family to go on. Another example is two property, an owner that had a primary residence, they brought a second one. So they're very tapped out at the bank. The market had dropped too much in the original property, so that they ended up holding on to both of them, just trying to wait it out. But then they got a margin call from their stockbroker, and they had to come up with cash quickly, and they didn't have it available. They had to, if you're tapped out of the banks, you got to find different options. So this is just another option we can discuss on the 5th. Another one is kind of the traditional one, is really capital gains. At the end of the day, whatever wealth we built, we have a business partner. No matter what we're doing, we always have a business partner, in family or in business, and it's the CRA. They're going to collect whatever they require as part of that. So planning ahead some of these things to take care of gains that will impact you and your family going forward are pretty huge. Another example of someone putting life insurance in place so that they didn't have to sell their house to keep the cottage. When the patriarch passed, there was a massive capital gains that was coming. Life insurance was able to provide the cash for them to pay out the estate taxes, and the family could keep the cottage. The next piece is really just talking about what we talk about in general. Everybody's got a plan. We're not, we're thinking, in a business or in family, we're going through growth. Could be, the logical steps could be, if you have family with kids, then it's paying for education. It's getting married. It's getting a house, into retirement, estate and legacy planning. There's all these things that we have in mind that we want to go through. But, to Gary's point, life happens too, right? And we don't know when it's going to happen. When there's going to be a market shift, when a big expense comes up. Maybe you're in a partnership with someone in your business, and you have to buy them out. That could be a big thing. Health issues come up, and inevitably, whenever we are in these transitions, taxes come up too. CRA's always got to get their money, and how we work with with business owners and families is about how do we plan around it to make sure that you get to keep what you've built, right? There's ways of having to deal with situations. You could sell your stocks, save up cash, you could sell real estate, but you don't want to have to do a number of those things because you've lost opportunity to earn money on that asset for life. The guy who had $5 million of capital gains has multiple properties that he doesn't want to have to sell. He wants to have that opportunity to be able to pass that down to the next generation. And that's what we do, is we solve that problem, say $1's problem, for much less than $1. It's literally for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. So when it comes down to it, is when we go through plans plus life happens equals life needs cash, or life demands cash. And that's the problem that we solve. And that's something we'll go into more detail in the on November the 5th. And so, if you do own a practice, this is a great session to go to, because we can really talk to you about how you work with, some of the revenues that you have saved up within your corporate holdings, and how to create a tax-free wealth vehicle within that will grow tax-free to the end of time. You can use tax-free, and whatever's left over pays out to the family tax-free. So there's very few vehicles out there that are tax-free in this world today, or at least in Canada. We know our primary residence is one, TFSA is another, I was going to say the lottery is another one, but good luck with that. If you do, all better to you. And life insurance is the last one. And it's always there. It's just, to me, it's not a replacement of whatever you're doing to build your wealth. It's how do you accentuate or take advantage of that opportunity for yourself. And it's not just when we're gone, it's to be able to access while we're alive, and allowing us to extinguish some of the other things that are out there that, that we have to deal with, whether it be living, could be big expenses, but then more so, things like taxes are a very big thing that will eat away at what you built. And so think about, the kind of a common theme we use in our industry is, I'm a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen, but I don't want to give CRA a tip, right? Inevitably, we don't ever want to pay more than we have to, not a penny more. And to me, that becomes an opportunity where that opportunity of that money that otherwise would have gone to CRA could go to your family, could go to a charity, could go to wherever you want to go, but it gives you that decision. So, Gary, that kind of wraps up, really kind of giving you a taste of what we're going to cover off, and look forward to going through some examples, really have some good conversations, because I think that's where the rubber hits the road, is really having an interactive conversation with some of the advisors and the realtors. And yeah, look forward to it.
That's excellent, Peter. There's a couple of things here that I took from you. Is I love that you referred to one of our business partners, in fact, as a CRA. So I appreciate that. It is the absolute truth. They always show up, not when we least expect it, but maybe when we don't want them to show up, and it's always plan ahead for that. And my friends, this is a great opportunity to educate yourselves, and whether you have a prec or not, the education piece is the most important here. And you want to surround yourself with the people that know how to do the things that you want to be doing. Peter's definitely one of them. And the other thing I got to add, Peter, too, is although you're working with our realtors today, our realtors have clients, and this is another great leverage point that perhaps your clients have questions and things like that. And I'm sure Peter can help guide what those conversations could look like. Yes.
Yeah. For me, at the end of the day, it's a collaboration, right? And so, yeah, like, I don't think in terms of just, working one-on-one. How do we create better impact together? And that's the net result. So yeah, absolutely, I'm happy to help in that regard, and that goes both ways.
Excellent. Well, we'll see everybody on November 5th for Peter's session. Appreciate your time today, and all the best to you, Peter.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my friends. Okay, we're going to share just a quick video here, and then I'm going to invite Jen on screen with us. All right, my friends, family reunion is coming up. Jamie Kern-Lima, I don't know if you've heard of her before. Jen, your mic's muted, just to give you that heads up. And quite frankly, sometimes I live under a rock and I didn't know who she was. And I feel like an idiot now because I went and Googled her yesterday. I found out a tremendous amount of info, and she is, we like to think of ourselves as entrepreneurs. She has a great entrepreneurial story, from really small beginnings to, as you just saw in the video there, to pretty massive ones. And there was yesterday, I found it on, and you know me in podcasts. I love a good podcast, and I listened to about 30 minutes of one yesterday with Mel Robbins, who was our keynote speaker last year, and she interviewed Jamie, and it's a phenomenal story. I urge you to listen to it so it can prep you for family reunion, Jen.
Yeah, and yeah, I have to admit, Gary, I'm in the same boat as you. Colin sent me the notice when it came out who the speaker was, because we were all waiting to kind of go, who are they going to follow Tony Robbins and Mel Robbins with? Like, how do you do that? And I was kind of like, I don't know that name. And then, of course, I looked her up, and the same thing. I was like, oh, I should know that name, and I don't. And that actually made me excited, because the last few years, the speakers have been phenomenal, and we've all probably been exposed to them prior to the event. And I could see Michael Tuff in the comments mentioning she was at a keynote event, John Maxwell event a few years ago, and was incredible, which makes me even more excited. But I love the fact that I get to go and hear from somebody that I haven't heard from before, who is as successful as she is. And I think it's a great way to follow up to big heavy hitters from last year that everybody kind of knows because of their online presence and their social media presence and just their general popularity. So I'm really pumped about that. Family reunion is February 17th to 21st. We urge you guys to go. I know that we have our kind of usual group of about 17 to 18 people that are planning to go down there. But for everybody that hasn't been, family reunion is something that it seems like a big expense, and it's hard to kind of wrap your head around it. And then you get there and you learn so much, and you connect with your brokerage on a different level, and you get to know the agents on a different level, and you come back and you have these allies in your office that you didn't have before, and you have supporters who have got your back that you can reach out to, and you've learned from these amazing speakers and heard these agents doing these crazy things that you don't think is possible. And you sit there and you go, I think I'm doing pretty good. And then you hear someone talk about, 500 homes a year or whatever it is, and you're just like, oh, okay, there's more. I can do more. I can be bigger. I can grow. And if that's, that energy and that excitement of that you haven't hit that peak point yet, that there's more to go, there's more to build. And I know as entrepreneurs, we're all kind of looking at some point for what's next. We have that conversation a lot. And a lot of my what next came to me from family reunion. So I think it's a great place to think a little differently and be exposed to different conversations. If you haven't registered yet, please register. The tickets are available for sale. We do have room blocks at the brokerage, which I wanted to let everybody know about today. Steph is amazing. And so right after family reunion last year, she reached out to Mandalay and she was like, we need a block of rooms right now at the KW rate. We've had them locked in since, I think she got them by April last year. Like she's a wizard, I swear. And anyway, so if you do need a room, if you haven't booked a room yet, we do have rooms booked at Mandalay Bay. I believe we have about 15 rooms available. They're averaging about $224 a night. So the total cost of the week for your hotel is going to be around $1364, I think, and then you'll have your taxes and stuff on top. But for a week in Vegas, I mean, that's pretty good. And you're right at the venue, which is, as we know, where you want to be, because it takes a long time to get anywhere in Vegas, for those of you who haven't been. So if you haven't been yet and you want to chat more about it, reach out to me, reach out to Dylan, Steph, Gary, Colin. We've all been, we're all raving fans. If you haven't registered yet, please do. If it's a question about the budget, come talk to me. We can help kind of set up a plan or a schedule to help manage that budget so that you can get there. And we obviously want to support that growth in your business, and we're open to having that conversation with you. So if that's the only reason you're not clicking register, just let me know. We will help you with that. We'll come up with a plan. Don't let that be the reason you don't grow your business this year. And also don't come hang out with us in Vegas, because I mean, that's just a good time. I'm not going to lie. And I know it's going to be a great crew going. So with all of that said, I am super excited for Jamie Kern-Lima. I'm pumped to hear what she has to say and to hear her story. And I'm excited to spend time with our agents and to connect and to do our office events and have some nice dinners and all the stuff that we normally do. Please register. Make sure you are there. It is a game changer in your business. There's a reason it runs every year. There's a reason that thousands, tens of thousands of agents attend it every single year on repeat. I think this is going to be my 9th time going, Gary. I'm pretty sure. I got to do the math on that, which I actually don't want to, but I think it's my 9th time. I know you're up there too. And every time I go, I come back with something that impacts the way I run my business. So it's that I've never felt that I haven't gotten value from it, even after all this time. So just my 2 cents. Sign up, be there, register, make it happen, commit to your business, and then go to Peter's event so you can figure out how to save on some taxes so you can cover the cost. It's perfect.
That's excellent. And that was way more than 2 cents. That was excellent. My friends, there are people, there's the same group that goes every year, but we want to add to this group and create deeper friendships and partnerships. And I don't, anything I would say would you be repeating, Jen? Go. Go. Okay, Jen, walk us through the next month or so with some of our events here.
Yeah, we got a lot going on over the next month or so. So next Thursday, before we exit out of October officially on Halloween, we do have a lunch and learn. It is somebody from TerraNet who's coming in, and she's going to be doing a session on how to leverage the reports in TerraNet to benefit your business, to protect your boundaries, to to understand the movement of buyers. So the residential relocation report, which is I'm super excited to hear about this, is the movement of buyers, where they're coming from, and how to figure that out using those reports so that you can more effectively market your listings. And then, of course, boundaries, easements, all of that sort of stuff, making sure that when you're marketing your listings, you have all the right info and how to leverage those to bring more value to your sellers when you're sitting at that table with them. So that's going to be a really great one next week. And then, of course, we do have Peter Lount coming up on November the 5th, and he's going to be doing a lunch and learn. We got back-to-back lunch and learns going on to teach you about Prex and avoiding taxes and leveraging life insurance. And, you guys heard all about that. We do have our next KWRC team meeting on the 13th. And then on the 21st, we have Value Squared with Ian Davies. We did move that. It was supposed to be yesterday for those of you that seem like it looks like familiar to you, with the training with Gilles and Bo on Tuesday, which we had a packed house and awesome feedback. And then, having this event today, we kind of didn't want to go 3 in a row. So we reached out to Ian. He graciously was okay with us moving him to November 21st. Honestly, this is a training that everybody should be at. I don't know if you guys remember in the springtime when that big issue happened in the States and they had the NAR settlement. Gary, Jason Abrams, and I always forget the third person's name. Help me out with this.
Jay Papasan?
Was it Jay Papasan? Probably, most likely. So. They came up with this training to help agents position themselves better at the table with their clients in regard to showing their value, understanding your value prop at a higher level, how to protect your commission in those conversations, as well as how to have better conversation and communication with your clients across the board, and how to understand how to show up at a higher level for your clients. And I'm not doing it justice. It's an amazing course. Michael and Wayne taught it in the early summer for us. Ian is coming back to teach it again. Just be there. Trust me, it's worth it. Ian's an amazing presenter. I know some of us have seen him speak before. He has great delivery, and it's going to be worth it for your business, especially leading into 2025. And knowing that hopefully, fingers crossed, the market is going to kind of step up a little bit. And also that buyers are more educated on everything that's going on. And that NAR settlement, even though it's not happening in Canada, it does come up. Questions are asked. And we want to be able to speak to that at a high level. It's not on here, but on December 14th, we have our KWRC holiday party. So please lock that in your calendars. We're very excited about that. We have a new venue this year. We're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to be sending out a save the date shortly so that we can get confirmation of numbers. But it will be Saturday, December 14th. Looking forward to seeing all of you there. And then on December 18th, we have our Broker Vision event, which of course is a recap of 2024 and a vision of what 2025 is going to look like for our brokerage. So lots of really cool stuff coming along. There's a few other things I'm sure that are going to pop up between now and our next meeting. However, for now, get these dates in your calendar. Make sure you're ready to learn and prep yourself for 2025.
Excellent stuff. Thanks, Jen. Tune into I just say all of these because there will be nuggets in every single piece of training session that you're showing up to, and show up and take action, right? We always say walk your talk. Well, this is a great way to take that into action. Okay. Quick takes, KWRC TV. And you know what I found, Jen? Hang on for a little fun. I have it here somewhere. I have it here.
Is it a clip of KWRC?
No, but I found our old logo. There it is. For those of you that may not know or don't recall, Jen and I used to host, I think it was every Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember now, a live stream. Remember those moments in time where we all had to work remotely and things like that? Well, Jen and I put together we call it a little TV show. Really, it was just an excuse to hear us speak, I think. However, some really cool things came out of it. And one of the things that you see here on screen is the quick takes. And there was maybe a comment that we saw, online or something. One of our agents had a situation, or there's something came up, and we really just talked about how we would handle that, or maybe in a sense, how we would add that to our business, Jen. And we've got 3 short videos here. There's 2 of them from KW Mega Camp that just happened in August, and one from my good friend Ben Oosterveld who many of you know and have been to see his trainings, and he just talks. Well, I'm not gonna set it up. The first one, Jen, and let's just what we're gonna watch it together, and then Jen and I are gonna have some thoughts on it. So here we go.
So you ask the question and you say, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, what do you know about the market? And when they give you the answer, you do one of two things. You either validate what they already know, or you educate them. And we educate them with statistic and story. Everybody will say that they're a numbers person, yet many people are going to be swayed by the story of the buyer that won, the story of the buyer that didn't win, right? You can use it both ways, and I think that becomes then that conversation. The quality of the conversation that you'll have in that strategy session will have a direct correlation on your conversion rate.
Okay, Jen, pretty blunt. Talk to us about that, though.
Yeah, I mean, what she's really referring to is success stories, right? Ultimately, and agents have used it for years as a marketing strategy to generate business, sharing a story of a family they helped, or we helped sell a 4-bedroom house, and now we have buyers looking for a 3-bedroom house, and generating business that way. And then also, when you are at that negotiation table or having that conversation, people want validation. Right? We can all walk in and say whatever we want ultimately, and they're either going to choose to believe us or they're not. And data and validation is always what's going to back up and solidify that what you're saying is true. And so when people have a hesitation, the best way you can move them from point A to point B is to provide an example how you've done it in the past and how you have solved that problem for somebody else, or you've not solved that situation, whatever the case may be, the conversation you're trying to have. And by doing that, all of a sudden they go, okay, I get it now. Like you've done this, you have experience, you know how to do it. And you can share stories from other agents in your brokerage. You can share stories from your team. You can share stories about the brokerage as a whole. It doesn't have to be for the newer agents who are freaking out right now going, well, I don't have any success stories. You do. We all have them in different ways, in different areas of our life. We have all helped somebody through a transition. We have all helped somebody make a difficult decision. We've all helped somebody work through, a challenging time or a really happy or exciting moment. We've been there. We're human. We're all living those moments all day, every day. And so being able to have those stories really will solidify you as the person that they're going to be able to trust, ultimately.
Boom. Nailed it. And the only thing I would add on to that, Jen, is for those that are looking for, something slightly different in the fact that stories create connection, right? And to summarize that, and you, as Jen said, you may not have your story. Well, there's 200 plus realtors, and we've all got stories. And borrow a story, share your colleague's story, and make that connection. And that's there's years ago, I learned this great lesson from, oh my gosh, his name escapes me. Not John Maxwell, the other big sales guru from the little bit before his era, Zig Ziglar. I knew it would come to me if I just talked out loud. I was listening to one of his trainings, and some people have heard me say this before, during my listing presentation, it was excellent. I'd get to the end of it. Do you have any questions? And I'd always get the same question. Well, what's your compensation? So I didn't address it. And Zig would say, if you have questions during your presentation or you have questions during your conversation while you're presenting your area of expertise, if you will, the question means you didn't explain it well enough for that person to understand it. And sometimes using stories helps that. And ever since, that's always stuck with me. And so if you're constantly getting the same question over and over again, is A, you didn't address it, or B, maybe you didn't address it well enough. So take that into account for anything future that you're looking to do. Okay, next one. This one's from Ben. And Jen's gonna love this one.
It's so expensive. to do your own paperwork. Are you kidding me? It's so expensive. It drains your energy, which we now know is your highest asset, and the most influential thing in your entire company is what you bring to the table energetically. And guess what? Let's do something that drains our energy. Well, I don't know. My paperwork, do I trust someone? Fine, be poor. Go ahead, I don't care. When the pain is enough, you'll change. It'll just cost you until you get to the place.
Okay, so he's obviously using doing our own paperwork as an example here, but Jen, talk to us about doing the things that perhaps take us out of our wheelhouse.
Yeah, that I haven't seen these clips prior to this, by the way. So that was a lot to unpack in that quick little window he threw out there. The main thing obviously is he mentioned it briefly. Energy is our number one asset, and this came up actually a fair bit at the event we were at yesterday as well. And when you're spending time on that stuff, that takes away your energy. And for some of us, it's paperwork and it's admin and it's, all of the tedious back end stuff. And for some of us, it's technology and it's command and it's the website. And for the introverts in the room, it's probably making calls, that sucks our energy. It's difficult to do. And you need to understand in your business where your energy needs to go to get the best ROI on that time spent. And a lot of the time we don't put it in the right place. And I see this a lot in coaching as well, because we're naturally wired to do the things that make us feel good, the things that we like, the things that are easy or come easy to us or don't challenge us. And ultimately that potentially means we're spending a lot of our time in the wrong place. And when we need to protect and preserve our energy to show up at the highest level in the right places so we get the best return, we need to understand how our energy works. And leveraging the things that don't give us energy or we're not good at, those are the things that we can leverage, then we should be doing that absolutely 100% all of the time without question, because the ROI we're going to get by spending our time and energy in the right places is going to 100% replace and generate you more income than what you would get by spending the time doing that and not doing the right things. And we also get into a scarcity mindset around that. I can't afford a VA. I can't afford an assistant. I don't have $40,000 for a salary. And right now in this moment, that might be true, but you're not writing a check for $40,000. So, there's that argument there. Go month by month and figure it out. See how it goes. Also making sure you're hiring the right people in the right places. Exactly, Melissa, leverage to help you spend the time in the right places. And something else he mentioned, just to go off on that a little bit, is he said, you'll move eventually when the pain is big enough. And that's always true. That is always true. Eventually the pain will become so real that you will shift. What we don't want to have happen is you spend so much time and spend your energy in the wrong area so much that the pain is financial, that you're not doing the things that are making you money and the move you make is out of the industry. That's what we don't want to see. And that does happen. That's why a lot of people actually do exit real estate. And it's lack of knowledge. It's lack of knowing how to leverage effectively. It's lack of budget management. There's a lot of models that we have that we talk about that cover all of these things. The first step is understanding where you get your energy from and where your energy needs to go. Those are the first two things you need to know. And then from there, you can build a business plan around that, right? As agents, our number one thing is energy needs to go into lead gen. Flat out, period, full stop, that's it, it's lead gen. And if you're not doing that, if you're not spending the majority of your time in that space, you're already costing yourself money, right? So if you're picking paperwork over lead gen, that's a problem. If you're bogged down in paperwork because you're so busy and you love to lead gen, but you don't have time because the office is bugging you because you're behind on all your paperwork from all the deals you've been writing, you need leverage to solve that problem so that you can redirect your energy to the right place.
Boom. Another mic drop. And you know what, my friends, is people that, we're not that, I was just say picking on doing paperwork. What we are, we're going to do that.
Let's be real, right? Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I'm okay at paperwork. I am not amazing at paperwork, and sometimes I decide to do it anyways. However, I know there are people out there that are amazing at it. Those are the people you should be leveraging your paperwork or that task to, because that's what gives them energy. right? For me, I love talking to people. Talking to people is what generates business, generates camaraderie, generates connection. And most, not all, but most realtors are in the same boats. They love connecting with people, and I also know that not every realtor loves lead gen, and that's mostly, Jen. That's maybe because you're doing the wrong type of lead gen that suits your personality. And there's a whole other topic there. We won't get into that right now, but maybe Jen and I can talk about that on the next team meeting. Leverage, Melissa, you nailed it. Leverage. I know I am a terrible property manager. Those of you who don't know, I've had the opportunity to own investment properties. And at the beginning, I thought, I can manage my own properties. Well, there became a moment in time where I hated seeing that phone call, and it would drain my energy. And I became a terrible property manager. And I leveraged that out as fast as I possibly could because I knew that just drained my energy. It's the same thing here, my friends. Okay, one more video. And this is from one of our favorites, Tim Heil. And Tim, I don't need to explain who Tim is. Let's just watch it.
But you fast forward again, the market shifted in 2022.
Hang on a second. I'm not sharing my screen, so you're not even seeing that. You may be hearing it, but you're not seeing it. Here we go.
But you fast forward again, the market shifted in 2022. I think what we know by now is that this market does not stay the same. It changes.
Yeah.
And when it changes, you have to ask the question, what is the current sort of what I refer to as like a bleeding neck problem? Not a little problem, but like a really, really big problem that exists. And how can I bring a solution to it that's unique and clear and focus the weight of the whole business? I love what you said, is that the best real estate teams across the country, they figure out their MOFR, and then they put the whole weight of all their lead generation campaigns around that message, not the other way around. What everybody should do is identify a very specific target customer that they believe that they can serve well. Make sure that they have a really clear solution to that customer's problem, their biggest pain point problem. Try to not be a generalist. Try to be a specialist. Because if you can make your brand about solving a very specific problem, you will own that market.
All right, Jen, own that market. How do we own that market? Well, MOFR, I don't know if you caught that, and it's an abbreviation that, or analogy that many business owners will use, and they make an offer for an immediate response. I don't know about you, Jen, but I'm sure you hear, and I know I do. I send out an email and I don't get any response.
Yeah, I did that today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, and if we kind of peel that onion away, and I've done it too. I've done it hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of times. If you're looking for immediate response, ask the question that generates an immediate response.
Right.
And many people will send out their marketing or their newsletters, and they see people click on them, but Gare, they're not calling me. They're not reaching back to me. Well, I think what we need to do, Jen, is ask, what is our marketing? What's the objective?
Right.
And are we doing the task to hit that objective? Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And I mean, he said it pretty clearly. Figure out who your market is, who your target is, not just a broad market. And it can be geographical. It can be a particular type of person or demographic or investor type. It just needs to be clear. Who are you marketing to? And then make sure that whatever offer it is an offer to solve an immediate problem that they have in their business. And if you can nail that, which is hard to do, you got to talk to people, you got to understand the demographic, you got to do research, you got to spend some time and dig in. But if you can understand that, first time home buyers right now, if that's who you want to target, who are moving maybe from the GTA to Aurora because they can sell their condo, or if not their condo, get out of rent and buy a townhouse or whatever that looks like. And you can pinpoint an exact problem for them, which could be anything from how to save up for a down payment to getting the right lending to learning the neighborhoods and the markets or what the best schools are, whatever that is. And then you can offer them an immediate solution. The people in the most pain, going back to what Ben said, will raise their hand because they will go, I am feeling that pain right now. And you're telling me you have an answer. Yes, I'm going to get that answer from you. And then it's up to you to nurture and convert and be good at those skills down the road. But yeah, it wasn't really a hot take. He was pretty on point about it. But you're right. Yeah, exactly. Figure it out. Figure out who you want to market to. Who are you out there to help? And you know, there's that famous saying that we're best equipped to help our past selves. If that helps anybody out there, then tap into that. Who were you before you came into this industry? Who were you as a first-time buyer? Who were you as a move-up buyer? What did that look like for you? And can you tap into that? What did you need in that moment that maybe nobody offered you?
Yeah, I love it. And you nailed it. And while you're talking, this thought came to mind. And from time to time, I'll send out an email that is, or a text sometimes that is, it's almost guaranteed. Yeah, almost guaranteed. It's in fact, I'll guarantee it'll create immediate response. And I don't, maybe Michael can confirm this. I think I heard it first in a bold that we did many years ago. And send out an email to your database asking the recipient, which one are you? 1, 2, or 3? Right. Are you looking to refinance this year? Looking to renew this year? Are you looking to buy or downsize? And you can generate those questions, and all they have to respond is with a number.
Right.
Now you know perhaps their pain point, or you know what they're most interested in, or what's on top of mind, so you can facilitate that, so you can connect them to a Nicole, who are mortgage broker, and things like that.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you want to generate an immediate response, that is one way to do it amongst many other ways. Good stuff, Jen. This was good. I like this.
Yeah, it was fun.
At least I liked it. We liked it. I don't know about everyone else here. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, my friends. All right, let's move on. And this is important. Let me move this over here. Nicole, give me your thumbs up. I think you're ready. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, we had some news yesterday, Nicole. And, you know, I was sending Nicole some messages for something else. And she's like, I'm so sorry, Gary. Bank of Canada Day is always a crazy day. And I didn't even think, you know?
Yeah. It's definitely, I'll be honest, and I said this earlier on one of the morning calls too, I'm like, I dread it. Even if it's good news, because it's just so crazy. But keeping with that, again, good news. And, you know, some of you guys may have seen my post yesterday, but it's funny. I really want to emphasize and drill down on one specific thing that really came of yesterday's announcement. And so to recap, we saw a Bank of Canada decrease of 50 basis points. So again, really good news across the board. This is kind of what we were hoping for. But it's really interesting because I find that no matter how much I say this to my clients, to even some of my realtor partners, there is still quite a bit of confusion surrounding the fact that the Bank of Canada announcements are only directly correlated to variable rates. So I really want to emphasize that and say, just as a reminder, that all of these decreases that we're hearing about and you know, the rates that came down are just for variable rates. So, you know, in conversations with clients and things like that, that's something that you definitely want to reiterate to them, because it's even, you know, a challenge of mine that there's clients that I spoke to literally a couple days before that were calling me saying, okay, you know, how much did my fixed rate drop? 50 basis points, right? And so we really want to drill that home, is that these Bank of Canada announcements are, again, directly correlated to variable rates. So what does that mean? For most lenders, and I want to emphasize most because not all lenders are sitting at the same prime, but for most of the lenders, the prime rate was sitting at 6.45. So with yesterday's drop, we're now seeing that with most lenders, it is 5.95. And then of course you have that discount. So just to recap what it looks like, what the actual logistics are from a variable rate standpoint, whether you're in a variable rate yourself or your clients, we secure them a discount. So let's just, for average numbers, let's just say that most clients have an average of 0.5, so 0.5% off of prime. Then whatever prime is, so again, with yesterday's discount decrease, it's 5.95, then they're getting 0.5% off of 5.95. So they secure that discount, lock that in for whatever their term is, and then whatever prime is at, up or down, they get that discount. So really hoping that you guys can help kind of drill that down to in the conversations you're having, that the fixed rates have not changed. So anybody in a HELOC or in a variable rate mortgage. And also, I won't spend too much time on this, but there are also two types of variable rate mortgages. There are adjustable, which is the traditional move up and down, where your payments will vary. And then there also is what's called a static variable rate. And that's where the fluctuation will still happen in the back end. So if interest rate increases, then it will go up. And if it decreases, it will go down, but the payments will stay the same. So, it also depends on the clients need to understand what kind of product they're in. So there's still quite a bit of confusion around that. So again, you guys know I am always happy to, jump on a call with your clients if they need some sort of just education around that, but it really is important that we're understanding that. And then just to kind of give you some perspective on what that actually translates into from a dollar perspective, again, it will depend on the discount that the clients themselves have, but on average, if we just keep with that 0.5 0.5% discount, we're looking at about $30 for every $100,000 worth of mortgage. So you can kind of do the numbers there depending on what that looks like, but that'll kind of give you some perspective. So in terms of what else is going on, actually, sorry, just to touch on that again, there's no Bank of Canada announcement for November, but we are going to see another one in December, and still very good likelihood and chance that we will still see potentially another drop. I don't think it'll be another 50 point, probably quarter point, but we're still expected to see continued decreases in the coming months. And that's again why I typically I'm very pro variable right now as well for clients. Of course, everyone is individual, but I do love the option of a variable rate right now. Yes, the spread is sitting much higher between a fixed, meaning the variable rates, even with the discounts, are still quite higher than the fixed rates. But just to emphasize and remind you guys that my reasoning for being pro variable right now is that your clients or yourselves can lock into a fixed rate at any point in time. So even if we take a variable rate right now, we don't have to take it with the idea of sticking to the variable rate and riding the potential, waves. We can just take it to buy us some time and lock into a fixed rate later. There's no penalty to do so as long as it's a traditional mortgage. No penalty to be able to lock in. The only sort of caveat is that you have to lock into a term that is equal to or greater than your current mortgage. So standard variable rate is 5 years. So if you lock in 6 months or a year from now, then you're going to lock into either a 4-year or a 5-year term. So lots of flexibility there. And again, that's something that a lot of clients don't necessarily understand. A lot of clients want to jump to a shorter term fix. And it's funny because the whole idea and the premise around that is the fact that they expect rates to come back down. So, when you put it all into perspective, a variable rate still potentially makes sense. So definitely something that you guys can be chatting with your clients, especially because with the fixed rates, I'll save that for another time, but they are sort of dictated by the bond market. And again, it's a bit more of a trickle effect. So we do expect the fixed rates will continue to come back down, but because they're not tied to the Bank of Canada, it's not, necessarily going to happen yesterday or tomorrow. It could happen in the coming months. So lots of stuff going on there. When it comes to some of the insured announcements that we discussed as well, I think on the last meeting, we're all kind of aware that we've got some increases to the insured cap. So instead of that $1 million mark and price point, we're going up to that 1.5, 30-year AMs, all of that. I won't sort of rehash that, but I want to drill down on the fact that there is a lot of misinformation out there that these the rules are coming into effect December 15th, and there's a lot of confusion out there with even some brokers that are posting the fact that we can get access to those now, essentially put something through now and close on like December 20th, for example. And that is not the case. It is effective December 15th. So if we need to qualify with the new rules, then we do have to wait till December 15th to get access to those for your clients. If the clients can continue, so if we have a purchase, for example, we're putting something through now, if they can qualify under the current rules, so the $1 million, it's less than $1 million and it's 25-year AM, if they can qualify and make that purchase work now, and they're closing December 20th, for example, we can renegotiate the terms afterwards, like once those rules come into effect, but we just can't get access to them now. So they have to qualify as the rules currently stand. Another thing I wanted to just touch on is I think after the last meeting we did, we saw that there was another announcement regarding the stress test on conventional mortgages. So I wanted to just touch on that, let you guys know that some good news when it comes to conventional mortgages. So regular mortgages where we're not insured, so 20% down payment or more. The rules are now coming into effect end of November, I believe, November 21st, where the conventional space now no longer has to have a stress test when you're renewing. So when we're shopping around for rates and all that kind of fun stuff, we no longer have to qualify your clients on that contract plus 2%. We can just qualify without the stress test, which is really nice. However, I want to just recap the fact that that is for straight renewals. So again, the biggest thing with that is that we're going to have shop around for rates. If we need to actually restructure your client's mortgage, so consolidate debt, stretch out the AM from a payment perspective and cash flow perspective, that is not going to qualify for a straight transfer, like that actual renewal. That will be subject to a refinance, in which case the stress test will apply. So if you're ever unsure, just give me a shout. I'm happy to, kind of walk you through that specific situation, what would apply and what wouldn't. But for straight renewals, it will give clients the opportunity to shop around from a rate perspective. And it's, all good in that sense. The last thing I want to touch on is I'm not going to go over all of the other new rules that are kind of potentially coming into place, but there's lots of information out there with respect to more favorable rules coming into place for refinancing and multiplex homes and multi-units. Those are all potential rules are coming into effect towards the end of the year and early in January, and I'll touch on that more when we have more information. But I just wanted to be mindful, or want you guys to be mindful that a lot of these rules and announcements are coming out from, the government, media is putting them out there. Just be mindful that even if we get, information that the government, for example, is putting out these new insured programs and things like that for these refinances and things up to like 90%, for example, of equity to tap into, it is still not 100%, meaning even if the program is launched and some of the insurers will, kind of come on board with this, it still doesn't mean that every single lender is going to, come on board with this. So a lot of times I feel like some of this is, kind of great in theory, but not necessarily going to come into effect or, be actually well adopted. So if you guys have any questions on some of those rules, just reach out to me. Again, I'll be putting more information once they become a little bit more clear, but I just wanted you to be mindful of that before everybody kind of gets their hopes up on a lot of these things. And lastly, I will leave you with the fact that it'll be coming out. Sarah will be putting out the calendar for next month, but I do have 2 events that are coming out in November. One is going to be focusing on renewal strategies and just your blueprint for renewal success. And that event is going to touch on all things renewals. I really think it's something that you guys might want to share with your database because it is, I'm being asked to do this. So I think it'll be a good opportunity. And the second event will be a specific strategy I refer to as the Cascade strategy, which is really how to, it'll be good for renewals and any of your clients that are selling and purchasing and really how to take advantage of rates in a declining environment. So that information will come out to you guys, and feel free to share that with your database, as well as, of course, you guys attending if you like. And that's all I got for you guys.
Excellent, Nicole. I always appreciate your knowledge in what's going on, and it's imagine working in an industry where it changes daily, my friends. That's what Nicole helps navigate with our clients, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you've heard me say sometimes before too, even on some of the calls or the meetings, I'm like, let me just get back to you on that, because sometimes we find out things, especially with these new rules, the same time that you guys do with these media announcements, right? And there's so many things in the back end of things to see what's actually going to happen. And that's kind of where I was going with some of the stuff I was saying today too.
Excellent. Always appreciate it. And please reach out to Nicole and help her. Let her help you and support your clients. All the best. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, my friends, something here, that's what I'm looking for. TIS. This is always a good thing when we get to fill these out, right, Jen? I'm going to bring you on screen too. This is always a good thing. However, what you can see on screen here is it's going digital, and this is through KW Command. There's going to be some training dates, as you can see here. and we just want to make sure that people are in the know that when they log on to Command, this is how they're going to submit their deal transactions or their TIS. So just know that it's coming. It shouldn't be a surprise to those that are watching today, but there's going to be lots of training that Stephanie and her team will be putting on how to navigate through that. All right, Jen, we haven't done our market intel for a while, and this is where we look at the entire Toronto Real Estate Board to see how KW is doing, how KW Realty Centers is doing in our trading area. And let me tell you, my friends, it's an ever-changing market, and it's always good to have this information. So we're going to be sharing some stats here. I'll go through them somewhat quickly here for the sake of time, but just know that in the next couple of minutes, in fact, very soon, these stats will be emailed to you and they'll be in your inbox by the time this meeting is done. Okay. Market share, and this is year to date. So for those that don't recall what this looks like, this is for the Toronto Real Estate Board, where Keller Williams, the brand, matches up. And you can see here we're sitting at just at 100% the sold to ask price. So this is the entire Toronto Real Estate Board for the entire brand. Then we'll get into KW Realty Centers, Jen. The next one is days on market. You can see at average we're sitting at 28.9 days on market as a brand, and you can see where the other brands line up. And then moving on, we like this one, Jen, agent productivity by units. And you can see we are almost 6 units per agent. So what a great way to support KW. And this is also something that perhaps you want to share with your clients. We are doing the most units per agent as a brand. That is pretty exciting on the Toronto Real Estate Board. Okay, now let's go local. And this is new market year to date and sold to ask. You can see there's a whole, almost every brand there is right within 99%. So which means if you list your home for $1 million, you should be selling for $995,000 basically. So that's exactly where we're sitting with that. And days on market, you can see we're sitting at 23.5. That's, you know, that there's a few things that goes into days on market. Is your sales strategy. What does that look like? And right now we're aligning with just over 3 weeks on average, and that's in the new market area. Moving next, this is the combined. Whoa, I skipped a screen here. Hang on, back up. Here we go. Market share, and this number has fluctuated over the years, and you can see our market share for new market. Jen, what I need to preface this, all of these slides too, these are for brokerages that physically have an office in these areas. So as an example here in new market, and we're sitting at 13.58% market share, which is pretty significant. And there it's first place is within grasp, and we can make that happen for the next few months here. I know we can. Sold to ask in Aurora, we're sitting in number 1 at 99.86% there. So that's good news for Aurora. And moving on, we have days on market. Even though we're getting one of the highest or the highest sold to ask, our days on market is sitting at just under 38 days there. Next, we have market share, and look how close that is for number 1 spot. I know we can take that at 29.6. It's so close. That might be one of the closest numbers here, but that which means really for almost 1 in every 3 homes is sold by a KW agent, which is pretty amazing. So congrats to you guys there. Looking at Georgina, we are sitting at 100% basically for your sold to ask numbers, and which leads the days on market sitting at 20 days, we'll call it. And if you have a half a day, there you have it. That's when the half day shows up. And again, these are for all the brands, and you can see all the other brands there. Moving on, combined units, the market share. Now, We're sitting here at 7.28%. I'll say this is a pretty good jump from where we were back in the springtime when I looked. So good for our KW agents that are taking market share up there. I will say this too in Georgina, there's no clear winner like into the teens like we're seeing in some of the other areas, or into the 20s like you have in Aurora, 30s. So there's lots of opportunity in Georgina to take market share, my friends. Let's go do it. Like I said, those slides will be sent. If not, they're showing up right now at 1:15. That email was going out. So I don't want everyone to go jump off the call right now to go look, but they should be there. You can use those slides in your listing presentations, in your buyer consults. I always say this, Jen, we always get so focused on doing listing presentations, we forget about the buyer consult.
Yes. Yeah, we do. Those poor buyers.
Those poor buyers. You can't have one without the other, right? And we need to educate our buyers on what perhaps sellers' expectations are, and where the certain, you do a CMA for a seller, do a CMA for a buyer, and let them understand where that market is for that specific area. Good stuff. Okay, moving on. I'm going to bring Dylan on screen, and if you need, and we shared this last week, Matt and Dylan are now doing our market updates live on Facebook and YouTube. You'll see them dive deep into some of the things that Nicole had brought up in regards to as well as, inflation numbers and unemployment numbers. And yes, my friends, that affects the real estate market, whether we like it or not. And Dylan and Matt kind of peel that onion in a way, and talk about what that means, and really more importantly, what's that ripple effect and what does that mean to our home buyers. Dylan, you're doing a great job. You and Matt, keep it up, my friend.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Gary. On that real quick, I'm so grateful to have partnered with Matt on this. He has such a great economic mind when he looks at breaking down the numbers and talking about the different factors that influence everything that's going on in Canada, but specifically when it comes down to our real estate markets. And, we were having a great call the other day, and he was very, thoughtful and kind of provocative. And when he mentioned to me, he's like, it's the people that are making policy that impact some of the biggest changes in real estate, right? If you look at some of the big downturns and changes that have happened in our real estate market, it's been policymakers that have done that. And so he's great at watching what are the policymakers doing right now? What are we seeing in that world that we can anticipate what's going to come down the line? So not only are we, of course, breaking down the stats, but we're taking a look at the guys that are making the decisions that are ultimately impacting our industry.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, my friend. Tune into those. And what I love about them is, they're always available on our channels, YouTube or our Facebook group. Use it to educate yourself and to educate your clients. Dylan, I appreciate the work you're doing there. Okay. Talk to us about, the coaching world, and specifically, in a sense, set us up for, we always talk about, hey, we have great ideas. We have great expectations, but my friends, are our actions meeting our expectations, or what our goals are? Dylan, take it from there, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. So what I wanted to take some time on today is just facilitate a small moment of reflection to ask yourself, are your actions in line with your long-term goals? We want to make sure that we've got that plan for long-term success in this business. And one of the realities of this market is that we are in a slow transactional market. We're sitting at about 51,000 transactions on the Toronto Real Estate Board. We're on pace to actually finish lower than we did last year, which was about half of what the Toronto Real Estate Board did in 2021. So the reality is there's a lot less transactions out there. There's a lot less agents doing transactions. And so we just want to make sure that we're being mindful of it. Like, this is what I would say in the grand scheme of things, a short-term problem. Our real estate market in the GTA is so resilient. No matter what gets thrown at it, it finds a way to turn itself back around. We just happen to be in one that seems to be lasting about 2 years in regards to our down sales volume. We'll see how long that continues, but with interest rates coming down now and the government coming out and making policy changes to try and bolster our real estate market, we know that everybody wants this thing to turn around. And so what I want to ask you and have you ask yourself are my actions conducive to me being successful long-term in real estate? We've had 2 fantastic training events in our office this month. We had Michael Tuff and Wayne Clements do business planning. Those guys are fantastic. I really hope that you took it. And ultimately, if you aren't planning for a successful 2025, you're planning to fail. So you need to make sure that you're engaging with the amazing trainers that we have, and reach out to, I put my number on there as well. Reach out to us on your in-house coaching team to set up a plan for you if you don't already have one. But if you aren't making those plans, we know that we're planning to fail. So let's make sure that we're being focused on what we're doing going forward. The other amazing training we had this week was, thriving through command. We had Gilles and Bo come in from regional, KW Canada. They did a fantastic job. And ultimately, the big thing that we preach so often is your database is your business. But the good shift that I would like to say in terms of the way what lens you're looking at it through, is your CRM is your business. And are you logging into it every day to manage those customer relationships? And if it's something that you're not doing right now, you're missing out on a big opportunity. One of the numbers that they threw out was the 201 Club. And through all of their research and everything, they've acknowledged and learned that if you have 201 plus contacts, relationships in your Command CRM, you are making money in this business. You are building a sustainable career. You are getting a sustainable income. And I took a moment to take a look at our office numbers for what people have in their command, looking at the number of contacts they have in their command versus transaction. It's a report that we can get from command. And ultimately, people in our brokerage year to date, agents in our brokerage year to date that have over 201 contacts in their database are averaging 13 transactions year to date from January to September. So the number and what we're seeing based on what KW Canada is seeing, we're actually outpacing them for our agents that are keeping contacts in their database, and of course nurturing them. It's not enough to just upload a list into command and hope that people are going to reach out to you for business. But ultimately, the CRM is there to make sure that you are nurturing those relationships, that you're doing it systematically and purposefully, that you're not forgetting people, that they are not sliding by. And then all of a sudden, like Gilles mentioned in the class, you drive by and you see a for sale sign on one of your clients' houses or somebody and you're like, man, when was the last time I talked to them? Like, command does so much to help leverage that and to keep you on track to make sure that you are nurturing those relationships. So I just want to make sure that we all take a time to reflect and ask ourselves, are my daily actions reflective of my plan for long-term success? And so if you're not doing prospecting, you're not doing your lead generation every day, as Jen mentioned earlier in the call, we know that's something that we need to change. On the opposite side of that coin, I'd ask the same question to somebody that is doing their lead generation every day, but isn't necessarily building that plan for success in the long term. Are you currently in a situation where you are trading time for money? What happened if you couldn't go out and lead generate tomorrow? What have you built into your business to help account for that? What happens if you don't want to go out or you don't want to be doing lead generation every single day, for the next 10 years to make sure that you're getting enough business? There are business strategies that will help attract customers and clients to you. I'm not advocating to stop prospecting. I'm 100%. You need to be prospecting every day. You need to feed your database every day. But at the same point, for long-term success in this business, you do need to make sure that you're building a business that doesn't rely on you being there every single moment, because you will be an employee of your own business, trading that time for money. And we know that this market's going to turn around. We know that it's going to be, that it is that blip that we're facing right now. We've got interest rates coming down. We do have some economic concerns, of course, but ultimately we know that the GTA is a hub for people, and we do have a housing shortage at the end of the day. Starts are down as well. So there's going to be demand for housing as this thing comes out of it. And if you're doing the right activities now, if you're talking to people on a daily basis, if you're nurturing those relationships, you will have a larger piece of the pie when this comes around. There's a fantastic agent down in the States that is doing huge business through online leads right now. His name's Daniel Dixon. And he had a profound thought the other day, or not thought, but teaching in one of his training sessions, where he's talking about it's no longer speed to lead, but speed to relationship. And specifically, as we see changes coming through how commissions are offered on the buyer side, it's speed to value and being able to articulate that. So it doesn't matter what form of lead generation you're doing right now, your goal should be to be getting into better relationships with those and providing value on how you can help them. For example, I got an online lead through one of my Facebook ads this morning. It's somebody that's looking in Kitchener. I have no idea why he's clicking on an Aurora listing, but nonetheless, my follow-up with him is I'm going to help connect him to an agent down there. I'm going to make sure that I'm nurturing that. I'm going to talk to him about if he has family around the Aurora Newmarket area. At the end of the day, that's still a contact that I'm going to nurture that relationship because it's free now. Well, not free. I've already paid for it through my ad, but I want to make sure that I keep nurturing that in the long run because I don't know what referrals can come from it down the road. So to finish up my call there or my message there for today, I just want you guys reflecting, are you doing the right tasks to make sure that you're going to be here for long-term success? Thank you so much for putting that up there, Gary. My phone number as well as in my name, so you guys don't hesitate to give me a shout. And I just want to say, you know, we had 18 people on our morning Kickstart call today, and Nicole is fantastic. She's there every other Thursday. We have Simona on the alternate Thursdays. She is our new in-house lawyer, like their Mayfair Law, their team, and they are fantastic. We are constantly finding new ways to make sure that you are educated so that you can serve your clients, as well as when you have Nicole on there, we are talking about different conversations that you can have with your clients. She's talking about some fantastic strategies already on this team meeting. So I just encourage you to reach out to me, connect with your in-house coaching team. We can help make sure that you have a plan in place, as well as if you want to get re-engaged, Mike and I are on those calls every day, Monday to Friday. We have fantastic guest speakers coming in to help you out. So we look forward to seeing you on there. And that's it for me, Gary.
Excellent, Dylan. Always appreciate your insight. And Nicole, I'm going to bring you on as we kind of sign off. That's a bit of a surprise. But my friends, this is important to tune into what your business is doing. If you have business expectations and you're not meeting them, well, sometimes it's the actions or fine-tuning the actions. As Dylan said, you might be doing the right actions and it just needs a little tweak. And that's what great people and great coaches can look at and see. They're that person on your shoulder that can see something's at a place that you might not be able to see. And leveraging our team and our brokerage and our colleagues to do that is tremendous. Okay, I'm going to share this slide one more time. Yeah, that's the slide, but I'm going to do it like this so we're all on screen together. Those are the important dates coming up. Make sure that you are attending these and getting as much out of it as you can. There's lots of great stuff going on here. And I saw a comment, where is it? From Hamid. How do I get those stats? And then seconds later, he got the stats. So that confirms, that confirms that those emails have been sent out. Use them to your to leverage your clients and everything like that. Nicole, it's always a blast having you on these calls. I appreciate everything you're doing. Excellent. And my friends, make it an amazing day, and we'll see everybody in the next team meeting. Goodbye for now.
Bye. Bye, guys.